weekend comes, a cycle hums.
Hey, it's Potsy, Ralph Mouth, and the whole gang, even Scott Baio. It's Happy Days. Thumbs up, I'm cool. The good old 70s. Looking back at the good old 50s.
So right, it can't be wrong. Rockin' and roll.
Drew Brees, please. Bailing us out from having to go back to 70s television talk. Thank you, Mr. Drew Brees, number 9. Oh, yeah, there you go. We're on Broadway. Broadway in Clavens. Broadway in Ferret. The co-eds on Broadway and Ferret. That's when you know you're getting old. I'll never forget. My brother comes up to LSU. I'm like second to last year. I'm like a junior, I guess, as far as like classification. My brother had graduated a few years earlier, so he's like maybe 26. And we're driving through campus, and his head is on a swivel. And he's just making noises. Oh, my God, look at her. She's beautiful. This girl's unbelievable. Are you kidding me? Wow, look at that. And he's just freaking out. And I'm just like, geez, my brother's like a loser. I was like, what's his problem, you know? First, I'm just listening to him for a while and letting it go. And then after a while of this, I'm like, dude, kind of relax, all right? Jeez. It's like, dude, you just don't know. You're just all around it all the time. I'm like, no, you're a loser. So anyway, time passes, and I graduate, and I don't know, it's like a year or two later. I'm on campus and driving through there, maybe by the same spot in front of the Union or something. And my head's on a swivel, and I'm going, my God, look at this beautiful girl and that beautiful girl. And I call my brother. Yo, bro, sorry. A few years ago, I thought you were a loser, but now I realize what was going on. You're not a loser at all. Have a good day. Anyway, that's today's program, everyone. It's Friday. We decided to go with a super abridged version. That's it. Have a great day. We'll have a calibration tone going from now until about 6 p.m. in 3, 2, 1. That's straight through till 6. The old calibration tone. Calibrating our equipment. See you Monday. All right, it is a Fantasy Friday edition of the program. They're telling me to keep going. Jason's doing this frantically behind the glass. Don't stop. Keep going till 6. Till 6 p.m. 6.
Huh? Jason's discovered the old calibration tone.
No, he just says he was cursing me out. And that was the beep. Multiple curse words on top of each other. The old stacking method. The calibration tone. Getting the equipment going on a Friday. Jason is behind the glass, rolling until 6 o'clock on the radio. You're in the right spot. Really good time to catch us. It's a Friday, a Fantasy Friday edition of the program. If you're listening on the radio, maybe, chances are pretty good it's your drive time home. Every weekday, 4 to 6 p.m. Oh, so fine, 93.9 FM. Oh, so fine, 93.9 FM. You can also check us out right here. New Orleans' very own 107.9 FM. Every weekday at 4 p.m. 107.9 FM. 600 AM is a good way to take us outside of the metro. Heading to Baton Rouge, 600 AM down the I-10. North Shore I-12, 600 AM. Heading into southern Mississippi, heading into southern Alabama, even the panhandle of Florida. Yep, you guessed it, 600 AM. 2 big hours on the radio till 6 o'clock every weekday. 2 big hours live streaming, KaareTalks.com. That's our website. Kaare spelled Kaare, KaareTalks.com. You can email us, Kaare@KaareTalks.com. We're on YouTube. Corey Johnson, the Neutral Ground, on YouTube right now, live. Check us out on YouTube. Click to subscribe. It doesn't cost anything. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Corey Johnson Neutral Ground. And yes, we're on TV also. The first 90 minutes of the 2-hour talk radio program, the first hour and a half on TV from 4 till 5:30 on Cox Channel 4 statewide, New Orleans, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and beyond. Yorview, Louisiana, Cox Channel 4 all over Louisiana. Charter telecommunications subscribers. We're on Spectrum Channel 333. Spectrum 333 from 4 to 5:30, weekday afternoons all over Louisiana. Got a good one lined up for you on this Fantasy Friday. By the way, if you'd like to participate in the program, Rouse's Markets phone lines, 766-9480, 504-766-9480, 766-9480. Corey Johnson with you on a Fantasy Friday edition of the program. We got a little flip-flop going. Frank Brigtsen's going to join us at 4:20. Frank Brigtsen in about 10 minutes. Normally on Fridays, a lot of radio is when you're in the car. A lot of television is when you have time at that particular time of the day. A lot of folks land on us the same time period, 15 minutes here, 10 minutes there, 30 minutes here, 40 minutes there. Same time period almost every day when they land on us. Frank Brigtsen usually joins us at 5:20 on a Friday. 5:20, a good 10, 12, 15 minutes with Frank Brigtsen. Yeah, that Frank Brigtsen from Brigtsen's Restaurant every week, every Friday. One of my favorite segments of the entire week, just talking food. It isn't really to promote his restaurant. It's just, it's sort of like the incidental is, it's Frank Brigtsen, James Beard Award winner. He's calling us from the kitchen of his restaurant, Brigtsen's, for nearly 40 years in the Riverbend, one of the city's best. I'm going to talk a little bit about what's on his menu and what come on. It's like, have Emerald on. I'm not going to ask him what he's got on the menu tonight from his restaurant. So no, but I'm telling you, it's not like a Brigtsen's commercial. Talk about what's in season, talk dessert, appetizer, entree, all kind of stuff when it comes to food on a Friday. Frank will join us in about 8 minutes. Michael Hecht from Greater New Orleans Inc. will start things off in the 5 o'clock power hour. A little bit after 5, maybe 5:10, 45 minutes or so from now. Maybe a little under an hour from now. Michael Hecht from Greater New Orleans Inc. in the 5 o'clock power hour. Hey, Mother's Day is this Sunday, like not tomorrow, the next day, that day. Mother's Day 2023 is this Sunday, guys. Some of you have done nothing. You've got the rest of today and tomorrow, and that's it. Sunday is the day. How about Friend and Company Fine Jewelers on Maple Street? Go see Ken Friend right now. Maple Street in between Broadway and Carrollton. Go see Ken Friend tomorrow. All price ranges covered, literally. It's the highest quality. It's enduring value. It's real natural diamonds. So you easily can spend thousands of dollars. You can easily spend tens of thousands of dollars on a lifetime purchase from Friend and Company Fine Jewelers. But I love that Ken Friend has a room dedicated to real natural diamonds. Everything's under $1,000. Diamond stud earrings, tennis bracelets, diamond necklaces, everything under $1,000. Real natural diamonds too. And that room applies to everybody. The $1,000 purchaser, the thousands, the tens of thousands of dollar purchaser. You can get her it can be just a little gift, a little add-on, a little extra. It can be the big gift, depending on the price point and what you want to spend. So everything under $1,000 room at Friend and Company Fine Jewelers is for everybody. Friend and Company Fine Jewelers on Maple Street in between Broadway and Carrollton. Head over there right now and see Ken Friend. Call him and tell him that you're on the way. Get there tomorrow. Mother's Day is this Sunday. Friend and Company Fine Jewelers on Maple Street. And don't forget about the Woodhouse Day Spa, guys. A day of relaxation. The city's premier day spa experience is the Woodhouse. Their 5 area Woodhouse locations. Go to their website, woodhousespas.com. Woodhousespas.com. She wants a day of relaxation from the Woodhouse Day Spa.
Our Humane May fundraiser is going on right now. In the month of May, we're trying to raise $10,000 for the Humane Society of Louisiana. Donate right now at humanela.org.
Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets has daily lunch specials Monday through Friday, and their entire lunch menu is available too. Open 11 a.m. through 2:30 p.m. For the finest in Sicilian and Italian cuisine, Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets.
Did you know Rouse's sells only Angus beef? Angus beef's natural marbling means more succulence and flavor. Whether you choose Rouse's USDA Prime, Choice, or Select, it'll be only Angus beef when you get it at Rouse's. Tastes like home.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations, New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa, woodhousespas.com.
Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
5 generations, family owned and operated. Leidenheimer French bread.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool, New Orleans. NOLAAC.com is your cool spot. From the owners of Katie's in Mid-City and Bienvenue in Harahan, an old school deli with over a dozen specialty sandwiches. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes, a magazine as unique as you.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port NOLA has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Which Metro New Orleans area restaurant made CNN's top 50 in America and ThrillList.com's top 25 and has served presidents at the White House for over 40 years? Trey Yen in Mandeville.
Being a part of people's lives, from an engagement ring to a wedding band. Before you know it, the wedding day is here and groom and bride are exchanging gifts on that day. And not too long after that, there's baby gifts to have. And I just enjoy being part of other people's family, saying, Mr. Friend did my engagement ring and he did my mom and dad's engagement ring. My name is Ken Friend of Friend and Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Corey Johnson with you. I know for a lot of you folks, you know, we're on for 2 big hours every weekday afternoon. You might check out a few minutes getting in or out of the car. You might have a routine down where, Corey, I get in the car at 4:25 and I listen to you until 4:50 or something like that. I only catch in the 5 o'clock powwow. Well, for you folks that have that locked in schedule and like right now is when you're usually listening, boy, you're missing some good radio in the 5 o'clock powwow. Usually an hour from right now at 5:20, we go to the River Bend, to this 100-year-old Creole cottage, nearly 40 years as this world-class restaurant. We go visit with James Beard award-winning chef Frank Brigtsen from Brigtsen's Restaurant. Usually at 5:20 on Fridays, we're doing it an hour early. A treat for you 4 o'clock listeners. Frank Brigtsen joins us. How you doing, Frank?
Where you at, Corey?
Doing good.
TGIF.
Yeah, you're right. It is. Thank goodness it's Friday, huh?
Yeah, always, man. I love it.
And we're
Beautiful
still 70s and 80s, no 90s yet, Frank. I'm loving that.
It's gorgeous outside, really is.
And I'll tell you, like about 3 hours from now, 2.5 hours, that 6:45, 7 o'clock, 7:15. Boy, is that a special part of the day. Usually a little breeze, sun's going down. Nice.
Yeah, it is. My favorite parts of the day are just before the sun comes up and just as it's going down.
Yeah, no, and pretty soon that's like almost the only tolerable part of the day. We're on the brink, Frank. About 5 straight months of heat and humidity, just weeks away. You can feel it. It's coming.
Bring it on.
Yep, that's what it's all about. The change in seasons. What does it mean in your world? Fruits and vegetables, seafood. What does the change in the seasons mean for you?
Well, I think we're getting close to the end of crawfish season, although we've got 2 or 3 more weeks left, I believe. They'll still be good. Shrimp season will be opening up in late May, mid-May usually. Crab meat should be getting more plentiful, hopefully, and more affordable.
Nice.
Those are the products of summer, shrimp and crab meat.
Yum, yum.
Absolutely. And we should be seeing some local blueberries in another week, maybe 2. Can't wait to see those. My friends at Azul Duce grow beautiful, big, sweet blueberries on the North Shore, and we buy as many as we can use.
We're visiting with Frank Brigtsen. Creole tomatoes,
Yes.
Vidalia onions, Haas avocados, the good artichokes. A lot of different fruits and vegetables start rolling in this time of year, huh?
Yeah, and I think Creole tomato season might be the most anticipated season of the year, even more so than crawfish because it's such a short run. We generally get about 6 or 7 weeks, maybe 8 weeks of Creole tomatoes. And that's the beauty of seasonality. You know, seasonal foods come and go. And so you have a greater appreciation of them. If we had Creole tomatoes all year round, it wouldn't be as special.
Yep. No, and you take advantage of that time of year when like you were taking advantage of the crawfish. I mean, that soup I had a few weeks ago was about as good as it gets. Literally this crawfish and corn soup that I had at Brigtsen's. And then just having Frank on the show a few weeks ago, he was talking about crawfish etouffee, and he mentioned it's like a brown sauce. And I was like thinking how great of a dish crawfish etouffee is when done right. And in about not 9 out of 10, but like 99 out of 100 applications, it is done wrong. It's just an abused dish like jambalaya, you know, brown rice with some sausage cut up. It's just red beans and rice. People have made it a terrible dish. And when I heard you had it, I went and got the crawfish etouffee, and it was outstanding. I should have gotten 2 orders of the crawfish etouffee. I'm serious. It was insanely good.
Yeah, we're real proud of that one, and that'll be on tonight and tomorrow as well. And then we're probably going to move on to something else. I may bring our crawfish pasta back or come up with something new for next week as we go towards the end of the crawfish season. You
have crawfish etouffee on the menu tonight?
We do.
As an appetizer?
Yes. And or you can double up.
I'm telling you, I might get two tonight as that might be my dinner tonight. Two of those appetizers.
That's a good call, man. It really is. God. And typically crawfish etouffee is served with rice, of course. We were talking about that in the kitchen. And I also like crawfish etouffee with a little side of corn mok choux. So Chef Larry came up with the idea of combining them. And we wound up with a corn mok choux kala, a rice cake that's cooked on the flat top griddle. So you get the sweetness of the corn and the rice to sop up all that good gravy.
Yep.
And it is a winner.
It's an edible sauce sponge.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it really is. Yeah, that's an incredible crawfish dish. What else you got on the menu tonight, Frank? What is anything else seasonal?
Well, we have our barbecue shrimp, of course, which has been selling crazy as always. The broiled Gulf fish with crab crust and lemon crab sauce continues to rock the dining rooms, and that's redfish right now. Broiled redfish with a crab crust on top. The pork chop took a big leap this week. That's selling really well, and that's with a pork debris sauce, rich pork gravy, and mashed potatoes. We're using Yukon mashed potatoes right now.
Yummy.
So those two dishes have really been going strong. And the seafood platter, which I think is one of the more unique dishes in town. Nothing fried because we don't really have a fry station. So it's grilled redfish with a crawfish and pistachio lime sauce, crawfish cornbread cooked to order with a smoked corn butter, a baked oyster fortuna with shrimp and crab meat, olive oil, breadcrumbs, scallop on the half shell, baked with herb scent cream spinach, and a little side order of jalapeno shrimp coleslaw to fill out the seafood platter.
That's crazy. And none of it fried. That's incredible.
Yeah, I'm real proud of that one, man. I just love to see it going out into the dining room.
Lots of flavor. How many 4 tops or larger tables get that as an appetizer?
Not enough. I did recommend that the other night to a table, and they got it. They were first-time visitors. And, of course, they asked me, what should I get? What should I get? So they got it as an appetizer just to get things started. And if that's your first dish at Brigtsen's, I think you're off to a great start.
Yep, no doubt about it. Hey, how about your last dish? I got that chocolate cake to go with my to-go order. Boy, what a great way to end the night.
That is. That's one of my favorite things to take home. That and the butterscotch bread pudding. With a little extra sauce. Somebody a couple of weeks ago, one of our guests asked, I can't find butterscotch anymore. Where do y'all get it? And the service said, we make it. So I said, get her email and I'll send her the recipe. So I did.
Nice. Wow. Butterscotch, old school, making it yourself. Well, you don't sell that pecan pie short.
Yeah, right. That's the dish that more people talk about than any other, I think. I did a little magazine interview yesterday, and they said, what dishes have to be on your menu? And that was one of the ones I mentioned, the pecan pie. And she said, well, what makes it special? I said, well, there's nothing exotic or different about the ingredients, but it's in the technique. And in particular, the pecans are in there in 2 different forms. There's raw pecan pieces that roast in the baking process, but also there's ground roasted pecans in the filling. So every bite has a deep roasted pecan flavor.
Yeah. And the crust is great, and the caramel. Wow.
Good buttery crust.
Yep. Hey, the opposite of the end, the beginning. What's the soup? I forgot to ask you about the soup tonight.
We have our butternut shrimp bisque, of course, filet gumbo with chicken andouille.
Wow.
And then next week, we're going to change the gumbo up a little bit. Next week, we're going to do seafood okra gumbo.
Wow.
Now that it's getting warmer, I thought we'd do that. We should be seeing local okra coming in the market soon. My Creole tomato farmer also does beautiful okra. So just to change it up a little bit, we'll have seafood gumbo next week.
Any openings tonight or tomorrow night?
I think if you give Martin a call tonight, you might be able to squeeze in a two-top here or there. But make plans to come next week and come get some of our seafood gumbo, which we only make during the summer months typically. So a little change of pace, or get some to go. You can get a pint or a quart to go and enjoy some real Louisiana flavor.
Tuesday through Saturday night, Brigtsen's in the Riverbend. 861-7610 is the number. 861-7610. Always a pleasure, Frank.
Thank you, Corey. Have a great weekend. We love you, New Orleans.
That's Frank Brigtsen joining us from his restaurant in the Riverbend. 861-7610. Get to Brigtsen's. 861-7610. Coming right back.
Our Humane May fundraiser is going on right now. In the month of May, we're trying to raise $10,000 for the Humane Society of Louisiana. Donate right now at humanela.org. For Leidenheimer Baking Company, producing the perfect French bread is more than a vocation. It's a sacred mission. And for 5 generations, they've used the same time-honored process, baking their signature loaf with its crisp crust and delicate center, unique and still good to the last crumb. From the finest French Quarter restaurants to your local po' boy shop, for over 125 years, New Orleans' own Leidenheimer.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Treme family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Treme company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Laitram.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
At Home Paint and Decorating, our paints are in it for the long haul. In fact, our top benchmark exterior paints come with a lifetime warranty. Not 25 years, not 50 years, we mean forever. You heard right. At Helm Paint, our top exterior paints have a lifetime warranty against chipping, peeling, and flaking. They also are mildew resistant. Imagine painting your home one time and being done with it. Visit any one of our locations today and make that once-in-a-lifetime purchase. Paint that has a lifetime warranty. Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore. Let us steer you in the right direction.
There's a Middle Eastern restaurant that's less than 5 minutes from where Causeway and River Road meet, Lebanon's Cafe. Convenient to Old Metairie and Old Jefferson. Carrollton at Jeanette on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe.
For us, it's really relationships. And if you care about the relationship, you're going to do the right thing for the customer all the time. When we're in design process of a custom-made piece, I have a test that says, if I wouldn't give this to my wife, I think we should pass and start over. If it's not perfect, it's going back to the shop. We're going to start all the way over. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, it's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof. Now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anywhere. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live. We live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love. More. When you do something, you have to do it right. You know, it's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Yeah, you're right. Corey Johnson back at you. A Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Rouse's Markets phone lines are open. 766-9480. 766-9480. Mother's Day is this Sunday. Mother's Day this Sunday. You got the rest of today. You got tomorrow. Mother's Day is Sunday. Friend and Company Fine Jewelers. Go see Ken Friend on Maple Street in between Broadway and Carrollton. Real natural diamonds. Thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars. And they also have a room dedicated to real natural diamonds. Everything in that room under $1,000. Mother's Day this Sunday. Go see Ken Friend at Friend and Company Fine Jewelers, Maple Street, in between Broadway and Carrollton. Go to one of the 5 area Woodhouse Day Spa locations. Get her a day of relaxation at the city's premier day spa, the Woodhouse Day Spa. Mid-City, New Orleans, Canal Street at Carrollton. They're in Metairie near North Kenner, Transcontinental at West Esplanade. They're on the North Shore, the newest Woodhouse, Mandeville, East Causeway Approach. About 90 seconds from the causeway and the lakefront from Treme, the foot of the causeway. East Causeway Approach directly across the street from the Mandeville City Hall. They're in Slidell, right off the I-10 and Gauze exit. And they're in Baton Rouge by the Mall of Louisiana, WoodhouseSpas.com. Get her a day of relaxation, guys. Mother's Day Sunday. Don't blow it. Hey, our Humane May fundraiser is all month long. But we're already, what is it, like the 12th? Is today the 12th? I mean, by the time we get back on the air Monday, it'll be the 15th. We'll be halfway through the month. We're pretty much halfway done. Supposed to have already raised about $5,000. At least $4,000 something by this point as far as pacing. We're way behind. Somewhere in the low teens, $1,300, $1,400, $1,500 so far. We really need your help. Go to the website, humanela.org. Humanela.org. Please donate $10 right now, $20. Humanela.org is the website. Our Humane May fundraiser. You'll see me kind of laying under a blanket with Blue Boy. Click on that. Use your debit or credit card and donate $10, $20, whatever you can. HumaneLA.org. Our Humane May fundraiser going on all month long. 2 women gunned down and killed Claiborne Avenue last night. Kind of that Treme area down by St. Louis Cemetery, heading towards Esplanade, by the city's tow truck yard, tow lot. 2 women gunned down and killed on Claiborne late last night, around 1:30. Kristen Morales, who agreed to leave the sheriff's office almost 2 months ago, a good month and a half ago, still working at the sheriff's office, still pulling her $12,500 a month salary, $12,500 a month. Sheriff Hudson, her old roommate, her close friend, Kristen Morales. So those other three were forced out. Morales was supposed to be gone, but she'll still, keep earning her $12,500, $12,600, $12,700 a month salary. She pulls about $155 a year. Doing what? Especially now, we have no idea. Works from home, not allowed at the office. All her duties and titles have been removed. What does Kristen Morales do for the sheriff's department for the city of New Orleans to earn $155,000 a year, besides being Sheriff Hudson's old roommate and her close friend, her buddy, their pals? I mean, that should keep Kristen Morales away from the sheriff's office to begin with. Unless Kristen Morales is just some pure difference maker, has just an insane resume, just trying to get, being hired away, has turned down lucrative offers to go elsewhere, just some change agent, miracle worker. But it's the Kristen Morales who was fired from the office of Inspector General for stealing office property. She sued for the firing and lost. Before she even got a lawsuit going, she might have been fired on a Friday. Monday, she was working for her pal at the sheriff's office. There was like the quickest turnaround ever and a nice pay raise. I'll make you deputy sheriff, number 2 to me. I think about $90,000 a year with the Office of Inspector General, $155,000, $155,000 a year with the Sheriff's Department. Kristen Morales, Susan Hudson's old roommate, her close friend. They lived together. They shared an apartment. She's still on the payroll. Six Flags. Oliver Thomas might want to step away from this. He's in a precarious spot. He's city councilman for District E, and that includes the Six Flags site. The Oliver Thomas was instrumental, and the city, the mayor, coming up with $1 million in cleanup assistance to kind of go in and knock out some stuff for the developer. The developer and the city have agreed. They're ready to go. Part of that agreement was the city coming up with $1 million of jumpstart money, going in, clearing out stuff, take out these buildings, get all this trash out, drain that lagoon, clear out all these weeds and overgrowth. I don't know where Troy Henry and Bayou Phoenix is going to direct the city in that $1 million, but they're getting $1 million from the city. Oliver Thomas is now requesting 10 to 15 million more. Now, every dollar at this point, the agreement's done. Every dollar at this point that the city commits to this, it's just more profit and or less money that Troy Henry and Bayou Phoenix have to put up ultimately into this project. But there is this WBOK radio, the black AM radio station in town. Oliver Thomas does a morning show, gets paid salary from WBOK. Troy Henry is one of the owners of WBOK. It's like 3 individuals, I believe, 3 or 4 men. Troy Henry's one of them. So for Troy Henry to be owner of WBOK, the black AM radio station, employing Oliver Thomas, the New Orleans city councilman, who's going to bat for him on one of Troy Henry's projects to have the city come up with $10 to $15 million at the very least is a terrible look. At the very least, a terrible look. And I think Oliver Thomas needs to back away from that. He has a letter. He has a letter that Oliver Thomas wrote. It's to Mayor Cantrell. And it's about the $1 million is great, but it should be somewhere between $10 and $15 million for the Six Flags site, for Troy Henry, for Bayou Phoenix, essentially, at the least indirectly. Money's going into that site, and not to hinder the development, to get it rolling. But the city and the developer have already agreed to terms. So why should the city come up with another 10 to 15 million more? And I'm not going to sit here and say I'm like totally against that. You know, if this were done right and it was Cabela's Bass Pro Shop, Flying J Truck Stop, you know, Buc-ee's, something like that. And they're like, hey, we're building and we got ground broken and we want, you know, some assurances from the city and we could use another 10 or 15 million. We're going to invest, you know, X amount. And it looks like it's going. Then it might be something to look at and consider, but the city's in the driver's seat. The deal's already done. It's consummated. You know, it's all on Troy Henry and Bayou Phoenix now. Anyway, I think Oliver Thomas, the city adds more money to this or not, Oliver Thomas probably needs to sit on the sidelines. Can't really be involved going to bat for Troy Henry when he works for Troy Henry directly. Gets a paycheck from Troy Henry from WBOK Radio, and that's fine. I don't think he should have to relinquish that job. But he, as a council person, someone else should probably pick up the baton for Troy Henry, not Oliver Thomas, right? Right? Hey, Helm Paint and Decorating, 7 locations in Metro New Orleans. Go to one of those Helm locations today, tomorrow. Get your paint project started over the weekend. They've got Benjamin Moore paint, the inventors of color paint, super high quality Benjamin Moore paint, all different ranges, all different price points, all the way up to a few different lines of paint that have a lifetime warranty, like the Regal Select I used on my house. Helm Paint and Decorating, free 2-hour delivery too. Get your paint project done right. Helm Paint and Decorating.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Fausto's Italian Bistro on Veterans Boulevard, where the brothers Fausto and Roland are serving some of the city's finest Sicilian and Italian cuisine. From New Orleans' first family of Sicilian and Italian cooking, Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarck Automotive Complex is something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We're doing all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, fuller part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
It's time to relax. The Woodhouse Day Spa, Metro New Orleans' premier day spa experience, now with 5 area locations. For a day of relaxation or maybe just a quick 1-hour getaway, the Metro area's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa. And now 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and our newest location in Mandeville. The Woodhouse Day Spa, woodhousespas.com.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port NOLA has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool, New Orleans. NOLAAC.com is your cool spot.
Being a part of people's lives, from an engagement ring to a wedding band. Before you know it, the wedding day is here and groom and bride are exchanging gifts on that day. And not too long after that, there's baby gifts to have. And I just enjoy being part of other people's family, saying, Mr. Friend did my engagement ring and he did my mom and dad's engagement ring. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
That's what I said. Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
For over 120 years, New Orleans' very own Leidenheimer French bread.
At Helm Paint, we go the extra mile with free delivery anywhere in the metro area. In the middle of a job and short on paint? Call us and we'll come to you.
Short on time? Call in your order and pick it up in the drive-thru at our Earhart Boulevard location.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore. Let us steer you in the right direction.
Our Humane May fundraiser is going on right now. In the month of May, we're trying to raise $10,000 for the Humane Society of Louisiana. Donate right now at humanela.org. Their doors open in about 7 minutes. You might see me there tonight. You never know. I'm kind of torn right now. Do I go to Fausto's Italian Bistro and dine outside on some veal piccata, some fettuccine Alfredo, that salad with the homemade Italian dressing, some Italian garlic type bread? Or do I get a double appetizer to go order from Brigtsen's of the crawfish etouffee? I'm torn between two lovers. Oh, boy. Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets does open their doors in less than 7 minutes. Straight up 5 o'clock, and they go for 5 straight hours. It's Friday night. They go 5 till 10 tonight, 5 till 10 tomorrow night. Outdoor dining, white tablecloth outdoor dining, Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets. Dine inside, in the dining room. Sit at the bar. Check out NBA playoff action. Fausto's Italian Bistro. Some of the city's best Sicilian and Italian. Fausto's Italian Bistro. On Vets, go check out Fausto's. You won't be disappointed. They open up in about 5 minutes. Yummy. Fantasy Friday edition of the program. If Fausto's is opening up in 5 minutes, that means we're about 5 minutes away from the 5 o'clock power hour on a Fantasy Friday. Mother's Day this Sunday. Friend & Company Fine Jewelers on Maple Street. Woodhouse Day Spa, 5 area locations. Problems solved, fellas. Our Humane May fundraiser going on right now. humanela.org. humanela.org. 2 women gunned down and killed on Claiborne last night in the Treme neighborhood. Just a terrible story. It appears one is a recent graduate of Delgado Nursing School, 20 years old. The other's like a student at Southern, either Southern in Baton Rouge or SUNO, and she just turned 20.
gunned down and killed on Claiborne last night outside of some hookah bar, the 1000 block of Claiborne. Sad. Kristen Morales, who agreed to leave the sheriff's office over a month ago, still there, still pulling her nearly $13,000 a month salary, nearly $13,000 a month in salary, and working from home. All her IT duties, everything, all her titles have been pulled. She's supposed to be gone. Now, what makes it really crazy, it's Susan Hudson's pal. This is like one of her best friends, an old roommate. They used to live together. Her close friend that's making nearly $13,000 a month. $13,000 a month. Who doesn't want to make $155,000 from home with no title, no job description anymore? What are you doing, Kristen Morales? This is the same Kristen Morales that used to make $90,000 a year working for the Office of Inspector General, but was fired, was let go for stealing office property. Susan Hudson scooped up her pal. Not only will I hire you from your $90,000 a year job you got fired from, I'll more than, I shouldn't say double your salary. I'll more than 50%, give you more than a 50% raise. You'll go from $90,000 to $155,000 a year. Wow. Oliver Thomas requesting $10 to $15 million more dollars from the city to go towards the Six Flags site to jumpstart that redevelopment. I think most of it is like the $1 million the city already agreed to put up. Six Flags site out in New Orleans East, Bayou Phoenix. They're ready to get moving. I mean, I had Troy Henry on the program for like 45 minutes, an hour. It's like $400, $500, $600 million project potentially. But it isn't Flying J Truck Stop or, Buc-ee's or Bass Pro Shop Cabela's, where the money's lined up. There's going to be some, orange clay top. They're going to be driving pilings. They're going to be, shovels in the dirt, machines moving. Still nothing going on at Six Flags. The city and Troy Henry came to an agreement. The city's part of that agreement, and it has multiple facets, obviously. One part's the city coming up with $1 million, clean up the site, that kind of stuff. Oliver Thomas now is requesting $10 to $15 million. The deal's already agreed to with the city and Bayou Phoenix, Troy Henry. Why more money? The deal's already done. This is 15 months after it was agreed upon that Bayou Phoenix and Troy Henry would be the developer. They've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars, they say. A lot of due diligence. There's no excuses to, we ran into some things we didn't realize. We need an extra 10 to 15 to make this $400, $500, $600 million deal go. Regardless of that, Troy Henry has a right to ask for the money, to request it. Directly, indirectly, the city has a right to look into it with this developer. Do we give them the money? Is it worth our while? But Oliver Thomas probably doesn't need to be involved in this because Oliver Thomas works for Troy Henry at WBOK Radio, the black AM radio station in town. And you just don't want that conflict of interest. And there clearly is one. So Oliver Thomas probably just needs to do it from the sideline and have some other council person help out Troy Henry. 5 o'clock power hour is upon us, huh? Huh, buddy? What's that, Blue Boy? It's a Fantasy Friday edition of the program. You're right about that. And we flip-flop things a little bit. You're right. Frank Brigtsen normally joins us in the 5 o'clock power hour. He just joined us. But stick around, Blue Boy's right. Michael Hecht from Greater New Orleans, Inc. is next.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
Hi, it's Ken Friend from Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business. Come see us over on Maple Street in Uptown.
Friend & Company Fine Jewelers, Breitling time, 5 p.m.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, your cool spot.
Ooh la Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh la Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
The French bread of the city of New Orleans. Good to the last crumb. Leidenheimer French bread.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, it's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof. Now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anywhere. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
Rouse's, New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's has the only full-service grocery stores both in the French Quarter on Royal Street and in the CBD on Baronne in the old Sewell Cadillac building. The Rouse's on the river, Tchoupitoulas at Napoleon, is in a century-old warehouse. And uptown on Ferret at the corner of Valence is Rouse's all-new boutique store. With 7 locations in Orleans Parish, Rouse's is New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's Markets. Taste like home.
Hi, this is Joey Helm. My dad, Bunky Helm, had a vision of a locally family-owned store serving the residential and commercial paint needs of New Orleans. I think Dad would be proud of today's Helm Paint and Decorating, and here's why. We have the best technical staff in the business, providing the best color matching service in Southeast Louisiana. Perfect matching for any color and any brand. And we'll save your colors so you don't have to save those old cans. Helm Paint offers free 2-hour delivery. Our in-store decorators will assist you on deciding what color and type of paint to best showcase your home. But most importantly, as your local independent Benjamin Moore dealer, our products provide the greatest value in the paint industry. Superior coverage, and Benjamin Moore paint simply covers better and lasts longer. New Orleans is a city of vibrant color, and no one else provides the paints of New Orleans like Helm Paint and Decorating. Visit any of our 6 locations or online at helmpaint.com.
Helm Paint, let us do you right. Helm Paint and Supply.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson.
Did you have any problem with Angel Reese? There was a photo of her coming off the bus, holding the phone with the...
And that was a bunch of bull. That was Photoshop, that young lady. That's social media for you. How dare somebody do that?
No, I was wondering if it was Photoshopped or if it was real.
You just got the real answer from somebody who was there.
It's Corey Johnson on the neutral ground, where New Orleans is heard. From the owners of Katie's in Mid-City and Bienvenue in Harahan, an old school deli with over a dozen specialty sandwiches. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port NOLA has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Being a part of people's lives, from an engagement ring to a wedding band. Before you know it, the wedding day is here and groom and bride are exchanging gifts on that day. And not too long after that, there's baby gifts to have. And I just enjoy being part of other people's family, saying, Mr. Friend did my engagement ring and he did my mom and dad's engagement ring. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Treme family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Treme company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Laitram.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Yabba Dabba Do is right. Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Fred, Wilma, Bam Bam. Come on over, kids. I might go get a rack of ribs to go tonight. So big that when they put them in the little tray on the side of my car, it tips my vehicle over. I've had ribs that large before, just like the Flintstones cartoon. Same thing. Yeah, you right. Crescent City and beyond. 5 o'clock power hour coming your way. A Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Can you believe it? Boy, sometimes the days and weeks just flying on by. We're already in May. We're on the brink of summer. It's already another Fantasy Friday edition of the program. When we come back on Monday after the weekend, we'll be halfway through May. That means we'll be halfway through our fundraiser, our Humane May fundraiser, trying to raise $10,000 in the month of May for the Humane Society of Louisiana. Hey, let's save some cats and dogs, some kittens and puppies. Every May, we've been doing this for a decade plus, we try to raise $10,000 for the Humane Society of Louisiana. Go to their website right now, humanela.org, and donate. humanela.org. You'll see me laying under a blanket or something with Blue Boy. Click on that, and then use your debit or credit card and donate $10, $20, $50. We need your help. humanela.org. Humane May fundraiser all month long. Mother's Day this Sunday. Can you believe Mother's Day is this Sunday? I got a couple of recommendations for you. The Woodhouse Day Spa, 5 area locations. Get her a day of relaxation at the city's premier day spa experience, the Woodhouse Day Spa. Guys, I recommend hitting one of the 5 locations, Mid-City, New Orleans, Metairie near North Kenner, 2 on the North Shore, Slidell, Mandeville, and in Baton Rouge by the Mall of Louisiana. I recommend going to one of the 5 Woodhouse locations, and in the lobby foyer area, have somebody help you get her one of those gift bags with scented candles and lotion and moisturizer and bath salts, all those goodies that she loves. They're in that lobby foyer area. Someone on the staff will help you pick out stuff for her. They'll put it in the bag with the rope handles, the tissue paper, the ribbon, the bow. Get her the day of relaxation gift certificate. You're all set. Mother's Day this Sunday. Get to the Woodhouse today, tomorrow. Get it done. Can't make it? Print your own gift certificate online. WoodhouseSpas.com. Any denomination. WoodhouseSpas.com. We got another suggestion for you for Mother's Day coming up in a second. I got the 5 o'clock whistle coming up in a second. I got our 5 o'clock power hour sponsor for this hour on a Fantasy Friday coming your way in a second. But first, Michael Hecht from Greater New Orleans, Inc., joining us again on the program. What's up, Miguel?
How you doing, KJ?
Doing well, man. How about you on a Friday?
Oh, man, it's been one of those Fridays, man. It's been a Friday, like a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, all wrapped into one, man. It's been a lot, a lot of good stuff, a lot of activity. Met with the ambassador to Ireland this morning. Fascinating what they've been able to do in Ireland over the past 30 years. Was out in Metairie, had some meetings out there. Got a couple more left on the day today, and then got to talk to the boys about what we're getting Mom from Woodhouse Day Spa for Mother's Day.
Now you're talking. Michael Hecht's with us from Greater New Orleans, Inc. We do it every Friday. This segment always brought to you by Treme, the global manufacturing giant. A culture of innovation at Treme, and they continue to grow. That means they continue to hire. They've been on a tear for a few decades now. They've got about 12, 13, 1,400 employees in Elmwood, a few hundred at their I-12 facility on the North Shore. Latrim's hiring East Bankers, West Bankers. Work for Treme under the UEP Long Bridge. North Shore folks, work for Treme at their I-12 facility. Latrem.com for a full listing of positions available. Latrem.com. Michael, you ready to jump into it? Because we got a lot to discuss, brother.
Let's just do whatever you want. Go deep, go broad, go speed round. I'm ready.
I guess we're going to have to go the pseudo speed route because I've got just a slew of topics and I've only got about 15 or 20 minutes with you, so I have to use it, wisely. You ready?
Let's do this.
The cruise ship industry starting to rebound from the coronavirus crisis and starting to rebound quite nicely for New Orleans. A lot of other cities do it. There's a lot of competitors. But we remain somewhere around top 5, top 6 in America as far as a cruise city?
Yeah, I think that we're top 5, and we continue to grow. It's happened kind of quietly because a lot of the ships are coming into that Poland Avenue wharf down at the bottom of Bywater. But it's such good business because every cruise ship is basically a floating hotel, a floating city, and it has to be provisioned. And so it creates a ton of knock-on jobs when it docks at the city. And then the average cruiser spends 3 days in the city staying in land-based hotels. So you get a lot of multiples. And, our newest cruise ship is Viking River Cruises, which is one that we first announced in 2014, almost a decade ago. It's taken us that long for all kinds of crazy reasons, but it's done. Beautiful ship, designed in Italy, built by Edison Schwest down in Houma. And this is, no offense, but not your dad's Carnival cruise.
No, there's a few different options, obviously, but essentially you're going what? You could go New Orleans to like Minneapolis?
Yeah, it's kind of like glamping the Mark Twain Trail.
Yeah, I guess you hit like St. Francisville, you hit like a Memphis or Natchez, Vicksburg, Memphis, St. Louis.
St. Louis, Red Wing.
Yeah.
And you continue up, and there's history lessons on the ship, fantastic food. The rooms are they were brought over in containers from Italy, so they're gorgeously appointed in kind of a Scandinavian style. I haven't gone yet, but I've actually been in the apartment of the owner of Viking River Cruises in Oslo when we were pitching him, and I don't know, he figured something out. So I commend it to you.
Is he the guy on the commercial? Is he the guy in the commercial throwing the log on the fire?
I haven't seen the commercials, but I heard they're pretty funny. I think that's him. His name is Torsten Hagen.
Yeah, I think that's it. He's probably, about 65 or so?
Yeah, he's a hale and hearty. He's kind of like the Boise Bollinger of Scandinavia.
Yeah, he's saying get out and travel, good for the soul, good for the heart and mind, get out and travel. Hey, Michael, what's the New Orleans Regional Leadership Institute all about, and what are they accepting applications for?
NORLE is been going on for years. It's a leadership training institute that used to be formerly part of GNOA. We spun it out, but we're still very close to it. And if people want to go and apply, it's not only a great way to learn about the New Orleans region, but it's also a really good networking opportunity and a good credentialization opportunity. And so folks that want to know more should go to norley.org, or they can get to it from the GNOA site, or just Google it. and apply. And if folks want to know more, they can also contact me. I can put you in touch with the executive director. But it's one of those things that if you're trying to broaden your horizons, build your resume, figure out how you can make a difference, that's what happens on NOLA.
Michael Hecht's with us from Greater New Orleans Inc. The NOLA Coalition, about 535 members now?
Yeah, it keeps growing, Corey. And it just shows you that there's just such interest in this city for a kind of middle of the road, bring everybody together, let's generate light, not heat kind of organization, because we're trying to keep doing little incremental things to help make the city safer and better and more prosperous. We're going to be actually releasing on Sunday night or Monday morning a refresh of our platform, and it's going to include some new items in it, like a focus on a true national search for an OPD chief. We already succeeded in getting the pay double, which we needed to do. It's going to focus on using new types of technology, like more pre-trial electronic monitoring, so we don't have to keep people in jail, but we can know where they are.
Yeah, hold that thought. I like this refresh thing, this recommitment, when it's already been rolling along and so successful. Incredible. Michael Hecht's with us from Greater New Orleans Inc.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, your cool spot.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
For over 20 years, serving healthy, fresh, authentic Middle Eastern cuisine, Lebanon's Cafe. In the Carrollton section of Uptown on the streetcar line, Wednesday through Monday, 11 a.m. to 9:30. Lebanon's Cafe.
1970 was an exciting time in New Orleans. The first Jazz Fest was held, the city hosted its first Super Bowl, and the first Helm Paint location opened on Earhart Boulevard. While the floppy disks, mood rings, and pet rocks may have come and gone since the 70s, Helm Paint has grown to become your premier source for quality Benjamin Moore products, competitive pricing, and personal service. Please visit one of our locations today and we'll meet our competitors' prices on any identical product. Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore, let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
When USA Today ranked the 10 best must-visit New Orleans restaurants for travelers, Mid-City's own Katie's made the list. USA Today says Scott Craig is chef-owner at Katie's, a much-loved Creole Italian eatery that draws armies of regulars for lunch, brunch, and dinner. A neighborhood spot where locals congregate and New Orleans-style hospitality rules. Indeed it does. Katie's in Mid-City.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, fuller part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets has daily lunch specials Monday through Friday, and their entire lunch menu is available too. Open 11 a.m. through 2:30 p.m. For the finest in Sicilian and Italian cuisine, Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets.
For us, it's really relationships. And if you care about the relationship, you're going to do the right thing for the customer all the time. When we're in design process, of a custom-made piece. I have a test that says if I wouldn't give this to my wife, I think we should pass and start over. If it's not perfect, it's going back to the shop. We're going to start all the way over. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
Since 1896, a true taste of New Orleans, Leidenheimer French bread. Our Humane May fundraiser is going on right now. In the month of May, we're trying to raise $10,000 for the Humane Society of Louisiana. Donate right now at humanela.org.
As New Orleans as a roast beef po' boy.
Crab meat po' boy, duck po' boy.
It's Corey Johnson on the neutral ground in Metro New Orleans on 93.9 FM and 107.9 FM.
Po' boy, roast beef po' boy, alligator po' boy.
Welcome back. A Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Michael Hecht is with us from Greater New Orleans Inc. Michael, you were talking about the NOLA Coalition, 435 members plus, continuing to grow. Lots of results. And now y'all are like hitting the refresh button, which is amazing because you've had such great success already. Tell us a little bit about that. And you mentioned a true national search for a police chief. Is the city not conducting a true national search for a chief right now?
Well, there is a search that is going on right now. We've asked that there be a committee of civic leaders that are part of the search committee, like was done, I think, under Mayor Landrieu for Chief, especially for Chief Surpass, actually.
Yeah,
that hasn't happened yet. So, the IACP is definitely leading the search. We're watching to see how it plays out. So far, so good. But we're watching to make sure this actually happens in a way that is transparent, and that the next leader is, which by the way could be very well Chief Woodford, who's already here. So we just want a process that the people and the police can believe in.
So the process right now is slightly flawed.
Well, no, we don't know. We are so far. There've been interviews. That's been good. There've been community meetings, which is good. We originally understood that there would be a community input on a selection committee of sorts. That is not happening as far as we're aware. So we're watching for it.
No, I like that. No, it's a vital importance. If they're top 3 to 5 prongs that make this city go, the correcting the violent crime problem is clearly one of them.
It's 1, 2, and 3 right now. I mean, when you look at surveys, it's the thing. There's nothing else that comes close. Not sewer and water board, not potholes, not anything. It's everybody. It's black and it's white, Democrat, Republican. It is it's the concern right now because it's the basis for everything else, right?
And what were you talking about? Pushing for monitoring for minor offenders instead of jail time?
Well, it's that both the left and the right would like to see more use of ankle bracelets instead of putting people in jail when they're waiting for their trial. Some people because they want to keep people out of jail, others because it's a better way to keep track of where people are. So we're pushing for that, more license plate readers, which works so well in St. Bernard and Jefferson, all in a constitutional way. But the reality is that we are operating a police force of 900 with a structure for 1,600. That's not going to work. We need to use things like technology and civilianization until we can get our numbers back where they need to be. And frankly, they're never going to be back to 1,600, maybe ever.
Right.
Maybe we'll get them back to 1,200 if we do a good job with recruiting and with stopping attrition. One of the areas that we're refreshing that we're adding to the refresh, which I'm really pleased about, is more focus on victims. And the reason is not only because victims deserve support and care, but also because those victims are statistically much more likely to be either re-victimized or to be part of a cycle of retribution. And so you've really got to get in and support victims if you want to break the cycle of violence, as well as it's the right and ethical thing
and
to do.
across the board, the judges, the magistrates, these low bail and bonds, got to be more concerned with the citizens than the criminals. Citizens first, criminals second. I don't want to see people jailed that shouldn't be jailed. I don't want to waste time with petty offenses. I don't like Louisiana per capita sometimes leads the world in incarceration rate. That's just ridiculous. But the opposite is too. Giving somebody a 30th chance that's a violent felon with a low bail or bond. That mentality needs to change as well.
Well, you're not doing anybody a favor. So, so the refresh is going to be out there. And then on the fundraising side, where we're raising $15 million, the addition there is that not only now are we going to be raising for youth serving organizations, we're now adding to that organizations that serve parents, single mothers, single fathers, and parents in general, because, somebody pointed out to us, look, that directly impacts the kids. We said, of course, that's right. So we're broadening that a little bit as well. So people look out. You can always find the platform, members of the coalition, more information on NOLAcoalition.info. We're trying to model being transparent. We're going to do a good job reporting on the spending of the dollars in June, July. And so we encourage others to get involved.
Michael Hecht is with us from Greater New Orleans, Inc. He's with us for a few more minutes. Hey, the 5 o'clock Power Hour on this Fantasy Friday brought to you by Leidenheimer Baking Company. They've been at it since 1896. Over 125 years, 5 generations, family-owned and operated, and still baking that Leidenheimer French bread right here in the city of New Orleans. It's being served in the city's finest restaurants, and chances are that roast beef or shrimp po' boy you enjoy being served on Leidenheimer French bread. Good to the last crumb. Leidenheimer French bread. 5 o'clock Power Hour brought to you by Leidenheimer. There's another good company for you, Michael. Got a few hundred employees. They stay dedicated to the city of New Orleans when outlying parishes have probably been trying to lure them away for decades.
It's a great company, and I don't know how they've kept their bread fresh for 125 years, but they've got it. You know what's annoying, Corey? You know what's annoying?
When the butter is too cold and hard at a restaurant, you have that piping hot Leidenheimer French bread waiting for the butter and it's too cold and hard. That's annoying.
Oh, yeah, that's annoying. But even more than that, it's annoying when you get a po' boy and it's served on like the wrong bread. It's not Leidenheimer. It's like just regular doughy, thick, dense, Subway bread. And you say, what? How did this happen in this world? We put a man on the moon.
That'll make you never go back to that place to get a po' boy again,
Yeah, I mean, I know we can't say this, but off radio, I want to hear your number one po' boy, but we can't say it.
Number one po' boy. No, we can say it. That's a tough one, to be honest with you. I really have to grind on that. I mean, I like the fried shrimp at Domalisi's.
Look, we live right by Domalisi's and Guys, and it's a tie.
Yeah, those guys has a really good too, and then you could even go get like a roast beef at Martin Wine Cellar almost. I mean, it's just very. Yeah. There's just lots of good po' boy sandwiches out there, Michael Hecht.
Are you? What about filling? I mean, I'm kind of filling non-binary. I go for kind of the half and half, shrimp and oyster.
I'm kind of a peculiar picky eater. Like the roast beef po' boy, I just get the meat, bread, and the gravy only. I could do a little mayo, but I don't do lettuce and tomato on that.
Oh, interesting.
And then the shrimp, it's mostly just lemon and ketchup. No lettuce or tomato on the shrimp po' boy either.
Are you more of a Tabasco or Crystal on your po' boy?
That's a good question too. That's a tough one. I mean, I think if you want hot, you go with Crystal, and if you want a little heat and a different flavor element, you go with Tabasco, maybe.
Tabasco's got the vinegar, right?
Yeah.
Crystal's more the cayenne mash.
Yeah, I think Crystal's pure hot sauce and Tabasco's a sauce that's hot.
I got to hop at 5:30, so ask me the hard one. We're boring the listeners now.
We are?
I know. I mean, we're boring the listener.
I think it's riveting. I'm looking at the meter. It's taking off like a rocket. They love this talk. All right.
They love this.
Hey, Miguel, what about Baton Rouge and the legislature? What's the biggest thing on the docket?
You know, the stuff that I'm watching the most is this legislation around insurance, particularly legislation that potentially is going to curb the abuses that have occurred. You know, this firm out of Houston, this MMA, that was filing lawsuits without people even knowing it and subsequently driving up rates for everybody. There's legislation that's going to correct some loopholes in the bad faith statute that's going to still protect consumers, but make it harder for bad actors to do things like that. I'm excited about that. On the flip side, there's legislation that's going to force insurers to tell you how much of a discount you're going to get if you put on a fortified roof. And, you know, I like that at all, because if you want people to do the right thing, you got to give them the right information. So that's some of the stuff that I'm watching, and, you know, trying to stay away from all this this crazy social stuff, which I hope just dies. It, you know, doesn't do anybody any favors. It's mean-spirited and it's political dog whistling, and
all right, Michael,
it'll get vetoed.
I've got one final question for you. You pick your poison. I got 5 topics. You discuss whichever one you want. Can talk about Get Lit. Can talk about some changes with higher education. Louisiana's Wind Energy Hub. Maritime Month with the Port. Or starting up in St. Bernard.
Oh, man. Well, let's first of all talk about that. Starting up in St. Bernard is happening, and I just got to give so much credit to what's been going on in St. Bernard. They've done such a great job there bringing it back, and you can go to startupstbernard.org to find out more about the event and buy tickets. And so I really encourage people to go and do that. And then I'd also just want to, on the higher ed, I just want to thank publicly John Nicola, who's leaving UNO, who really turned that place around, is going to Florida Institute of Technology there. Their gate is our loss. And also Dr. Crane is leaving Southeastern, who made that a tech and engineering powerhouse. And congratulate Will Wainwright, who's coming over from North Shore Technical Community College to take over Southeastern. Will is great. As I say, if loving President Wainwright is wrong, I don't want to be Wainwright, or something like that.
Wow.
We went there.
Yep, you did. Incredible. You only get that on the Neutral Ground program with Corey Johnson. Michael, always a pleasure, brother.
You too, my friend. Have a great weekend, and congratulations. And to all those mothers out there, thank you for your service.
Yeah, no doubt. Sunday's Mother's Day. Michael Hecht, Greater New Orleans Inc. See you next week.
Have a great one, brother.
That's Michael Hecht joining us. We do it every Friday. That segment's always brought to you by Treme. Hey, why aren't you at Katie's right now? You know, we didn't do it earlier, Jason. We might as well do it now. You know, might as well hit that 5 o'clock whistle, huh? I didn't want to take away any time from Michael Hecht, but a little bit after 5 p.m., like 30 minutes ago, we usually blow the 5 o'clock whistle. There it is. Lots of significance, at least for us. It represents 100% of the work week being in the books and 100% of the weekend being smack dab in front of you. This little limbo period, we like recognizing it. Smell the roses. We do it by blowing the 5 o'clock whistle. 5 o'clock whistle now brought to you by Katie's in Mid-City. Why aren't you in Katie's right now? Perfect place to start the weekend. Wind down the week, start the weekend. Katie's in Mid-City. Iberville, corner Talamacus, a Mid-City mainstay. Don't forget Scott Craig's other restaurant, too, Francesca Deli and Pizzeria. on Harrison Avenue in between Canal Boulevard and West End. Over there in Lakeview, Francesca Deli has about 15 different specialty deli sandwiches, or you can build your own sandwich. Pick the bread, the meat, the dressing, the cheese, the extras. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria in Lakeview. And yeah, why aren't you at Katie's right now in Mid-City? Katie's 5 o'clock whistle brought to you by Katie's this afternoon. Getting to that a little bit late because we had things we kind of flipped things around today. Normally, we'd be wrapping things up with Frank Brigtsen. Frank Brigtsen usually joins us at 5:20 every Friday. You can almost book it. Today, we had Frank on at 4:20. I think the first time ever he joined us at 4:20. And then Michael Hecht's usually around 4:35. But we got him a little bit after 5 for about the last 25 minutes or so. So flip-flopping things around a little bit on this Fantasy Friday, where Michael alluded to it a few minutes ago. Mother's Day is this Sunday. Guys, don't blow it. Friend and Company Fine Jewelers. Get there tomorrow. Go see Ken Friend on Maple Street in between Broadway and Carrollton. All price points. First off, you're getting the highest quality diamonds, enduring value, natural diamonds. Natural diamonds, real diamonds, not man-made, not 3 weeks old, not lab created, but real natural diamonds. And at Friend and Company Fine Jewelers, this is the truth. Highest quality, enduring value at all different price points. You can spend thousands of dollars. You can spend tens of thousands of dollars. They've got you covered. Diamond stud earrings, diamond necklaces, diamond tennis bracelets, engagement rings, wedding bands. They have you covered at Friend and Company Fine Jewelers when it comes to real natural diamonds. But they also have a room, a single room, everything in that room, real natural diamonds under $1,000. Everything in that room under $1,000. No, every price point. And real natural diamonds, that's the key. Don't get fooled. Don't go buy man-made, lab-created diamonds that are, the market's getting flooded by them. They depreciate in value. There's an unlimited supply. Get the real thing. 1 billion years old, something special that appreciates in value. Limited quantity. Real natural diamonds. Friend and Company Fine Jewelers. Maple Street, in between Broadway and Carrollton. Corey Johnson with you, Fantasy Friday. No, I'm telling you, how quick is the year blown by? Sunday is Mother's Day. We're already in May. Monday will be mid-May, May 15th. Mother's Day this Sunday. 2 women, 1 a mother. 1 who has a 2-year-old baby. 2 women gunned down and killed on Claiborne last night. The 1,000 block in front of that hookah club. One of the 2 young ladies, a recent graduate of Delgado Nursing School. The other just celebrating her 20th birthday and either goes to SUNO or Southern of Baton Rouge. A Southern student. No, just 2 young and 2 women. 2 women. Kristen Morales, who agreed to leave the sheriff's office over a month ago, still employed, still earning nearly $13,000 a month. Working from home, all her titles are gone, not allowed access to the facility, makes more than, I shouldn't say more, about $13,000 a month, $155,000 a year. Doing what? We do not know. Kristen Morales is Sheriff Hudson's old roommate. They live together. It's one of her close friends. Both sides admit that. We're very close friends. So essentially, Sheriff Hudson taking care of her friend, Kristen Morales. doesn't have a lot of law enforcement experience, but it's Sheriff Hudson who doesn't have a lot of law enforcement experience. Gets elected sheriff, brings in her old roommate, her close friend, who had a $90,000 a year job at the Office of Inspector General, but was rightfully fired for stealing office property. She actually sued to clear her name, maybe to get her job back. I don't know. She lost that. The OIG's office won that, a righteous or correct firing. I mean, before Morales could pack up her desk at the Office of Inspector General, she gets fired, and her friend, Sheriff Susan Hudson, hires her quickly. And her salary goes from $90,000 to $155,000 as deputy sheriff. About a month and a half ago, she agreed to leave in a few weeks. She's still there, earning nearly $13,000 a month. Doing what? We do not know. Sheriff Hudson shouldn't have hired her pal, her friend, her former roommate to work in the sheriff's office to begin with. Speaking of a conflict of interest, the Six Flags site, the city, Bayou Phoenix, Troy Henry's development company, they've agreed to terms. Lot is involved in that. Part of it is the city's going to put up $1 million to kind of jumpstart the cleanup of the Six Flags site. I don't know if they're going to tear down buildings, tear down rides, clear out overgrown, weeds and overgrowth, drain a pond or lagoon or something. I have no idea what the $1 million of City of New Orleans taxpayer money is going to be used for. But the deal is done. It's consummated. City of New Orleans, Bayou Phoenix, ready to move forward. Part of that deal, the city coming up with $1 million. Now Oliver Thomas, Councilman District D, representing that area, wants to see the city come up with about 10 to 15 million more to help jumpstart the cleanup and preparation of the Six Flags site for Bayou Phoenix. Now, you could argue the deal's already done with the $1 million. The city is not obligated to come up with any more money. Why would a councilman be requesting that? That's something to look into. If it were Flying J Truck Stop or Buc-ee's or Bass Pro Shop Cabela's at that Six Flags site, and they requesting 10, 15 million through a council person, it'd be worth looking into. $400, $500, $600 million development potentially. But also, the city's not obligated to do a thing. The deal is done. $1 million is all that the city is legally committed to doing, contractually committed to doing. Now, the problem is Bayou Phoenix, owned by Troy Henry, owns WBOK Radio. Oliver Thomas is a morning talk show host on WBOK. He gets compensated for doing that show. He gets paid. I don't think there's any problem with that. Being a council person, doing a talk radio show, if that's your job, I don't see a problem with that. But Troy Henry owning Bayou Phoenix and wanting the city to come up with more money, and Oliver Thomas is the one representing that position on the council, he probably needs to recuse himself. I mean, in theory, say Oliver Thomas secures the 10 to 15 million for Troy Henry and Bayou Phoenix. That's 10 or 15 million in profit, money saved, whatever. Money that doesn't have to come out of Troy Henry's pocket. Does Troy Henry then reward Oliver Thomas by increasing his pay at WBOK Radio? If there was a legitimate pay increase coming to Oliver Thomas for results from his radio show, would folks scrutinize that and think it was a payoff in some way? So the look, at the very least, is bad. The conflict of interest is fairly obvious. And if Troy Henry of Bayou Phoenix wants 10 to 15 million extra money to get his project jump-started from the city, that's fine. Probably be better to go through another council person, an at-large council person, whatever, instead of Oliver Thomas, who's on your payroll with another entity under your umbrella, this Black AM talk radio station that Oliver Thomas works for and gets paid by Troy Henry for that work. So Oliver Thomas shouldn't be the one requesting 10 to 15 million of more money for Troy Henry and Bayou Phoenix when Troy Henry pays Oliver Thomas to work at his radio station, right? I have no problem with Troy Henry, Bayou Phoenix requesting the money. Oliver Thomas isn't the right person since he works for Troy Henry. Got to go through another council person. Corey Johnson with you. A Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Rouse's Markets, crawfish season. Still a few more weeks in crawfish season. That means live from the sack crawfish ready for you to boil. They got them at Rouse's. How about hot from the pot, spiced just right, ready to eat crawfish? They got them at Rouse's Market. Over 60 years, over 60 Rouse's location. They're boiling crawfish all day, hot from the pot, spiced just right, ready for you to eat at each and every Rouse's Market. And if you want to boil crawfish tonight, they've got live crawfish by the sack at your Rouse's Markets. Best quality, best price, best selection. It tastes like home because it is home. It's crawfish season at your neighborhood Rouse's Markets.
It's time to relax. The Woodhouse Day Spa, Metro New Orleans' premier day spa experience, now with 5 area locations. For a day of relaxation or maybe just a quick 1-hour getaway, the Metro area's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa. And now 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and our newest location in Mandeville. The Woodhouse Day Spa, woodhousespas.com.
Which Metro New Orleans area restaurant made CNN's top 50 in America and ThrillList.com's top 25 and has served presidents at the White House for over 40 years? Trey Yen in Mandeville.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, your cool spot.
Rouse's, New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's has the only full-service grocery stores both in the French Quarter on Royal Street and in the CBD on Baronne in the old Sewell Cadillac building. The Rouse's on the River, Tchoupitoulas at Napoleon, is in a century-old warehouse. And uptown on Ferret at the corner of Valence is Rouse's all-new boutique store. With 7 locations in Orleans Parish, Rouse's is New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's Markets. Taste like home.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes, a magazine as unique as you.
As New Orleans as the mighty Mississippi, Corey Johnson.
The old miss, the old man.
On 93.9 FM and 107.9 FM.
Deep River, my home is over Jordan.
Hey y'all, it's Junket Cantrell, Mayor, City of New Orleans. We've decided to hold a contest where you can decide where I go next on my taxpayer finance vacation. I was thinking about Acapulco, but that's in the Western Hemisphere, and we can do a lot better than that. Think Europe, Asia, maybe even the Middle East. You know, if it's safe. You don't want old Junket Cantrell getting hurt. It's all about my vacation, having fun and spending the city's money on my entertainment. I'll be flying first class, of course, and I'll be bringing some administrative flunkies with me. It should only cost the city around $30,000, maybe $40,000. Help me pick my next city finance vacation. Go online, Cantrell Junket at cityofno.gov and have a feast day.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Fausto's Italian Bistro on Veterans Boulevard, where the brothers Fausto and Roland are serving some of the city's finest Sicilian and Italian cuisine. From New Orleans' first family of Sicilian and Italian cooking, Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets.
For Leidenheimer Baking Company, producing the perfect French bread is more than a vocation. It's a sacred mission. And for 5 generations, they've used the same time-honored process, baking their signature loaf with its crisp crust and delicate center, unique and still good to the last crumb. From the finest French Quarter restaurants to your local po' boy shop, for over 125 years, New Orleans' own Leidenheimer.
When a young man comes in and they walk into our store and you can see they're a little intimidated. Last week, I saw the young man. I said, "Hey, what can I do to give you a hand?" He said, "Well, I'm here for an engagement ring, but I don't think I'm in the right place." So I got him to my desk, and within an hour, he had purchased an engagement ring, had spent $1,000, and he was treated like he spent a lot more, and I'm sure we have a customer for life. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
Our Humane May fundraiser is going on right now. In the month of May, we're trying to raise $10,000 for the Humane Society of Louisiana. Donate right now at humanela.org.
Every day on the radio, on TV, live on YouTube, live streaming, KaareTalks.com. We do it from the Buddy Diliberto, River City's Total Maintenance Studios. River City's Total Maintenance, honest air conditioning experts that come immediately. That's all you need. Honest air conditioning experts that come immediately. You can find fair and honest Lucas and the boys. River City's Total Maintenance. Find them online, NOLAAC.com. You need air conditioning help? Weekday, weekend, overnight, holiday, NOLAAC.com. Honest air conditioning experts that come right now, NOLAAC.com. Every day we broadcast live from the Buddy Diliberto, River City's Total Maintenance Studios. Corey Johnson with you, a Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Mother's Day's this Sunday. Guys, Sunday, Mother's Day, this weekend. Not tomorrow, the day after, Mother's Day. Get to one of the Woodhouse Day Spa locations, 5 area locations. Get to that location, one of the 5 nearest you, and have someone with, work in that front desk area, the lobby foyer area. Have one of the staff help you select stuff for her. Scented candles, bath salts, moisturizers. Then you get her that gift card, that day of relaxation gift card from the city's premier day spa, the Woodhouse Day Spa. And Sunday, this Sunday, Mother's Day, is going to be a grand slam home run. Guys, it's what she wants. A day of relaxation from the city's premier day spa, the Woodhouse Day Spa, Mid-City, New Orleans, Metairie near North Kenner, 2 North Shore locations, Slidell and Mandeville, and they're in Baton Rouge by the Mall of Louisiana. Find them online, woodhousespas.com. You can print your own gift certificate online, any denomination, woodhousespas.com. Don't blow it. Mother's Day is this Sunday. How about heading to Friend & Company Fine Jewelers tomorrow? Go see Ken Friend tomorrow on Saturday. Get her some diamond stud earrings, diamond tennis bracelet, diamond necklace. It's Mother's Day. Real natural diamonds, enduring value, a lifetime purchase. Friend and Company Fine Jewelers on Maple Street in between Broadway and Carrollton. Ken Friend will be there tomorrow. Go see him tomorrow on Saturday. Take care of her with real natural diamonds for Sunday, for Mother's Day at Friend and Company Fine Jewelers. Hey, our Humane May fundraiser going on, humanela.org. Go to the website. Let's help save the lives of cats and dogs and kittens and puppies. humanela.org. We're trying to raise $10,000 in the month of May. humanela.org. 2 women gunned down and killed on Claiborne last night about 1:30 in the morning. Both around 20 years old. One a recent Delgado nursing student, graduate. The other attends either SUNO or Southern of Baton Rouge, a Southern student. Nauseating. Kristen Morales, who agreed to leave the sheriff's office about a month and a half ago, still has not left, still earning nearly $13,000 a month, $155,000 a year, but no longer has a title, no longer allowed in the building, in the facility, working from home, doing what we do not know, but earning almost $13,000 a month, New Orleans taxpayer money. Kristen Morales was the woman fired from the Office of Inspector General for stealing OIG property, if you remember. Stealing OIG property. Gets fired, immediately gets scooped up by Sheriff Susan Hudson, and the reason was simple. It's Susan Hudson's close friend, her pal. They lived together. They shared an apartment. They were roommates. It's her buddy. Kristen Morales, Sheriff Susan Hudson are very close friends. So setting up her close friend on the taxpayer's dime, not cool. Not cool. Oliver Thomas now wants 10 or 15 million more dollars for the Six Flags site. A letter from Oliver Thomas, his council person letterhead to the mayor of New Orleans. Oliver Thomas works for Troy Henry, the guy trying to redevelop the site. Oliver Thomas doesn't need to be requesting anything for Troy Henry or Six Flags. Let another council person do it. Too much of a conflict of interest when Troy Henry literally pays Oliver Thomas money for being a talk show host on his radio station. The Saints schedule last night around 7. The few things that jump out for me, 7 of the first 11 games are on the road. 7 of the first 11 are on the road. They play 8 games in the Dome and 9 on the road, and I think that's for the second time in a row. I think they did that last year. New 17-game schedule is easy when there's 16 games, 8 home games, 8 road games. Now there's 17, an uneven number. You figure just go back and forth every year. But I think for the second straight year, the Saints have 8 home games, 9 road games, 3 primetime games, sort of, kind of a weak primetime schedule, 1 Monday night game, and then 2 Thursday night games. I mean, Monday night's the big one. Sunday night's number 2. Thursday's sort of the last of the 3 when it comes to major primetime games. So 2 of the 3 primetime games are Thursday night. One's Monday night. Every kickoff, I think, is a 12 noon kickoff except for those 3 primetime games, which go off at night. No 3:15, 3:25 kickoffs. All of them are noon except for the 3 primetime games. 4 of the last 6 games, including 3 straight, are in the Dome. So 7 of the first 11 on the road, 4 of the final 6 in the Dome. The old flip-flop Saints schedule released yesterday. Hey, are you on the causeway right now? Why don't you fire in an order to Trey Yen in Mandeville? The number, you know, the area code 985-626-4476. 626-4476. That's Trey Yen in Mandeville. What's that, Blue Boy? Don't what? Don't forget the Tong Cho sauce. You're talking Trey Yen in Mandeville. Blue Boy, you're right on the money. Tong Cho sauce, so good. Hey, New Orleans, have a great weekend. Be safe. I'll see you Monday straight up 4 o'clock. Happy Mother's Day.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson. On TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube. On radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
Hi, it's Ken Friend from Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business. Come see us over on Maple Street in Uptown.
Friend & Company Fine Jewelers, Breitling time, 6 p.m.